lifestyle.
Yo, yo. I think we're, again, getting stuff rolling here. The plan for tonight is unknown at the moment. Well, it's not unknown, I say that. I think tonight, are we clipping? We're doing new audio stuff here. Hopefully this is all right. All right. So the plan tonight, we'll talk about a little bit. I gotta get stuff ready here. Instead of coming in hot, we will chill it out a little bit. Got our servo and a mess. And I guess we will start with this guy. Oh, the stand is not going to be great for this guy. We will see, though. All right, tools. And we're still actually missing the cover here. On the old Revo. I don't know if I know where that is. It's got to be here somewhere. One would imagine. What's up, guys? I will be back momentarily because we are missing a Revo cover. There's boxes of crap all over the place. It's got to be in one of them, right? Or maybe it's not, I don't know. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping. Might actually, we'll do a range test here. It might actually be upstairs. I think I have a case of stuff up here. Oh, there it is. Well, here's the case. I don't know if here's the thing. We will find out in a moment if I don't trip over all these cables. All right, here's the case. Hey, there it is. We don't need it now, but at least I know where it is. What is the plan? Because we have this is the Revo, the brand new engine. It's mostly broken in, but I haven't actually driven this yet. This has not had the tires on it since we put the new engine in. This is kind of like a virgin Revo. And the plan It's funny we're sitting here with the Revo out. Hopefully audio is working tonight. The reason we have the Revo sitting out here is because I kind of want to do a servo swap on this to take the 2 servo steering into a single better servo, and then, even though it feels kind of wrong to do it, take these 2 2075 Traxxas servos and put them in the HPI Savage for the steering and throttle. Though I guess we could take, I have somewhere here, I feel like I'm completely discombobulated. I had another servo laying here that I had attempted to use, but it was like super jittery. I don't know what I did with it now. Everything is lost. Oh, here's one servo. Oh, here's the other one. Okay, here's the pair of them. I guess we could test them out. We got a cheap Amazon servo and another cheap Amazon servo. So let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Because it does feel wrong. It feels wrong to put this servo in this Savage. Let's get the radio for this. I feel like that'll be relevant here. It's one of these, but I don't know which one because I don't have them labeled. Must be this guy. Or maybe, ooh, maybe it's not. Oh, there it is, okay. Radio. Oh, I think our receiver pack's dead. Is that the problem? Yeah, I think our freaking receiver pack's dead. That's some shit. Well, I have a receiver pack charger that I got from a dude. It looks questionable, but I've never actually tried it out. So let's try this out. I do have a servo charging lead for my actual battery charger, but I don't know if you're supposed to be using the pack while you're charging it. Let's find out. This thing is rough looking. I don't know how old this is. Take a look at this guy. I mean, it could just be dirty. Maybe this is like a current gen one. I don't know. I don't see any dates. It's Traxxas. It's got to be good, right? Traxxas never makes any bad stuff. And I read that on the internet. All right, cable's tangled. Let's get this guy plugged in. See if this works. We've got a blinking light. Well, we've got a steady light, but it was blinking. Let's see if there's like catastrophe when we plug this in. Pretty sure the Revo has a little port on the bottom, so we can actually use this without pulling the pack out. Yeah, we got like a charging port here. Never used any of this. This is all new to me. I don't know if there's a certain way this goes in. Is that connected? Is that doing something? It's blinking. That must be connected. You see our little box was blinking. Doesn't feel like anything. Oh, it will only go in one way. I just got lucky the first time. So it's blinking. Maybe we'll let that charge for a little bit. It's a shame I have this big car in the middle of the table. So what I've already done is I have a second Revo that's down here. And the second Revo, we took, if you can see, there is a hole here in the chassis. I took the two stock servos out and put in an inexpensive but much stronger servo from Amazon that I haven't really tested out yet because I haven't gotten a chance to run that car. And I want to do something similar to this. For this one, we got a much better servo. This is one that I've seen recommended by a couple guys. It's not the most inexpensive. I think these are like 60 bucks. Supposed to be good, supposed to be reliable. I saw a couple videos where people mentioned them, and then I talked to a couple guys that I know in person that have had good luck with them. The name just rolls off the tongue. It's a AGFRC, and then I don't know what this means. The it's like AG7, AGF. Is that AGF? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Not the most identifiable branding, but I want to stick this in. So I want to get this guy in here. So we're going to have to take both of these out. And to do that, we're going to take these covers off. We already have one cover off. Because basically everybody I know that I've talked to that has a Revo says that these servos eventually burn out because they're kind of fighting each other because you can't get them synced up perfectly. So it makes a little more sense to get a pair of better servos, or a single better servo, and just don't run two. So we're going to yoink this guy out, which is a pretty simple process. We just have the cable. Scoot this over here. We just have this cable going from the servo over to the receiver. Same thing with the second one. We'll get the cables out, and then we will remove the servos themselves and get this other new servo in there. Should be pretty straightforward. I feel like I inhaled a piece of insulation. Before I got started, I dropped my microphone under my basement stairs and had to climb under there and get it, and it was nothing but excess insulation that I had stored under the stairs because I never go in there, and spider webs. And I feel like I inhaled a bunch of both, which is not fun. So we're gonna get this guy out of here. Fishing these out is pretty straightforward. We're going to put the new servo in that channel, and I think we're going to go ahead and stick the wire in. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It'll only go in one way, so we won't do that yet. Wire out for that guy, and then the wire for this one runs underneath. We'll get her out here. Looks like it's running under there, into that top channel. Pull it out. Good to go. Wires are out, so now we just have to physically remove the servos, which we have to flip this guy to do. This has very little fuel in the tank, so hopefully that doesn't leak out. The tough part is that this chassis is kind of awkward to flip. I ran into that with the other one when I did this the first time. And I don't have the best way to really get a good camera view into here. And this is super disorienting. I don't think my magnet mount works the other way. So we're kind of left just hanging horizontally here. But we'll make the best of it. Or maybe actually just, well, let's just abandon the small cam for right now. And we'll just kind of hang out and get these out. So we're going to take the servo horn screws out. Get the servos loose. There was the first one. Unfortunately, I have a ton of hardware from the Jado we tore apart yesterday. I haven't really got a chance to clean all that up, so all of that stuff is still laying here, unfortunately. Yeah, I can feel insulation on my face. It's unpleasant. We'll take these covers off. This is the boring part. We're going to start with the boring part. The exciting part is taking the Savage 4.6 that I have down here and updating the radio. We're going to put a new receiver in it, put new servos in it. We're going to see what kind of receiver battery it has. I actually don't know because I have not looked inside of that thing yet. I tried to get it started when I first got it, but it needs a glow plug. So I ordered that, finally came in, and now we're just kind of waiting on weather. Whenever the weather's a little bit better, we'll take that guy outside and try to get it started. Hey, what's up, Vince? Another stream. Yeah, we got stuff to do, man. And the only time I really have to do it is the evenings, so here we are. We're going to get this servo out to turn the horn a little bit. Servo number 1 out. The weird thing about the servos in these Revos is that Traxxas has like a weird, they have these little like plastic things that go over the edge of the servos that make it fit into the chassis. We're going to leave them in there for now. We'll leave the servo horns on for now. We'll switch that over when we get the other one out. But I thought that was odd. And the problem you run into is the thickness of the mounts for different servos are not all the same. Like some of these cheaper servos have slightly thicker mounts because they're plastic. And those things don't really lay over top of those thicker ones very well. I didn't really like the fit. It worked out fine, but Didn't like the fit on the other Revo that we changed servos on. That one's not mine though, I'm not keeping that one. This one is mine, I'm gonna keep this one. Keep the one with the new engine, since I know it hasn't been abused. The other one runs fine, but I don't know what that engine has been through. But hopefully this part's quick. Should be quick. We'll get these out, keep the screws together, get the new servo in here, do some cable management, make it look pretty. I don't know if it matters which servo I keep. Like if we want to put the new one in the left or the right, I don't know if it really makes a difference. Aesthetically, I don't think I really have a preference. The only thing I might do is try to lay out a piece and 3D print a cover for this hole, because it doesn't look right having a hole in the chassis. Like it definitely looks like something's missing. All right, so get that guy out. I guess it looks cleaner. I guess it looks cleaner if you keep it in this side. Because on the chassis you have the receiver box and everything is a little bit tighter. Angler down here. All the electronics are a little bit tighter over here. So if we keep the new servo on this side and then just have a cover on this, I think it's like a slightly cleaner look. Or I guess you could argue that there's better feng shui if you put it over here. The chassis will look a little more balanced. Oh, this sort of servo horn doesn't want to come out. See, maybe this is a reason to not put it on this side. It's freaking tight over here. It's tight. Am I doing something dumb? Do I still have a screw in here? This is refusing to come out. No, it's free. This doesn't want to come out. Oh, there we go. It's just very limited space. All right, and we're out. We're free. So there's two servos, and I want to keep these servos. These are actually decent. And while it feels weird to put tracks of servos in this HPI Savage, we're going to go ahead and put these into the Savage because they are significantly stronger servos than it currently has. Because it's got very, very old servos in it. All right, make sure our cables are okay. Clean that up. All right, so we got our new servo. We're going to transplant our little adapters. I guess now is the time to decide. If I keep this open and put a little cover in there, put the servo over here, I think it will be cleaner and it'll be easier to get to this servo. So maybe I should do that. I think this one was this way. This guy, holy crap, I forget already which direction they were going. So this one's this way. So I assume this guy was this way. I don't remember. It almost has to have been. So we're gonna go in this way, which means we have this adapter on this side and this adapter on this side. Excellent. So we'll stick him back in here. Looks good. I guess worst case scenario, we can reverse the servo in our radio. I'm going to tilt this back up. Again, I wish I had a way to show what was going on over here. I'm going to rob the servo horn. We'll switch to my lovely face so we can talk to each other. Like I said, hopefully we have audio. It appears on my screen that we do, but I don't really have any confirmation that that is the case. So we need to power this on to recenter it. Is it great? Hopefully it's great. Somebody said it was great last night, and then I watched the video back, and I was unpleasantly surprised at how, like, the volume wasn't atrocious, but the quality was not great. And this is Mike actually got to use with my the action cam I have to record some stuff outside, but I just had the little receiver hooked up to my computer, and it appears to be working. All right, we'll get this mounted in, and then we're going to plug this in and turn it on to get the servos centered. We'll plug this in briefly into the first channel. Oh God, this doesn't have the little ear. This can go in either direction. Well, it's on. Oh, that must be backwards because it's not doing anything. All right. There, it moved. Ooh, that sounds quick. Nice. Okay, we'll power it down. That was just to get the servo centered so we can put this little horn back on. Try to anyway. All right, that looks about right, I guess. Get her on there. Okay, I was worried that the threads for this horn screw were different, but it got started. All right, this should be, I forget the stats for this. The 7075, or the 2075, the servos we took out, I think they're like 120 ounces at like 0.2 seconds. And these ones are 361, so that'll be about, what, a 50% improvement over a pair of the 2075s, and it'll be a single servo, which means it won't be fighting against another servo and burning itself out. And I think the speeds are about the same, maybe a little bit faster. I think it's a tiny bit faster. The speed, I'm an idiot that's driving these around in my backyard, so the speed doesn't really matter that much to me. But when you have a car that won't turn while you're pushing the gas, that does matter. That feels bad, and I don't like it. All right, so now we're just going to come in here. We're going to reroute these wires, clean this up a little bit. So we have this guy here that needs to come over to this radio box. And luckily there's these little holder things on the chassis for the wires, so we can pretty easily make this a nice clean job. And I think we're done. I think that is basically it. Yeah, that is basically it. That is the other two out, this one in. Wires look totally reasonable. I'm not too picky about that. Put the cover back on. Man, it's nice when stuff's easy. Make sure we're not pinching any of these wires and that they're in the little access hole. Put our cover on. I really wish I could drive a car, but it's like late. I really like to take this guy out, put some tires on it, drive it for the first time since it's had a new engine put in it. But alas, that is not in the cards. All right, feels good, looks good. We also have the cover for this side, which I will go ahead and put back on so I don't lose it. Because this one, if you can see in here, this already has a donor servo in it. This had a much weaker brake and throttle server. So when I took the pair of 2075s out of the other Revo, I took them and replaced both the throttle servos. So this has one of them. And the other Revo got its own servo back as an upgrade. And of course, I took this off a while ago, so I have lost the pin for that. And I don't think I have any pins laying around. Well, I do have some in here, but they're humongous. They are the wrong size, so we will have to leave that off for now. I don't have any other pins laying here. Okay, that's fine. The cover's in place, and the you can see the air filter actually sits down on top of this cover, which will hold it on for now, and I'll find that pin later. But that's basically it. That's easy. Looks good, and we're correct orientation. Though this servo, if you can hear that, is very, very jittery. I don't know if that means there's binding in the steering. I guess I should have saw how easy the steering moves when we had this apart. Maybe there's some binding in this servo saver or something. Let's actually check that. Because all I have to do is undo the servo horn again. And we'll check that there's no binding. I wouldn't imagine there is. These are all pretty new. These Revos don't have very much runtime on them. Ooh, that is... This is super stiff. I wonder why that is. I wonder if these front knuckles are over tightened. These have the weird ball knuckles. Oh, that is a big hex. Yeah, this is extremely stiff. This is not hooked to anything. The servo is not hooked up. And these are extremely stiff. These should move pretty easily. Oh, this is like a 4 or 4.5 millimeter? Yeah, it's like a 4.5, damn. That's a big boy. For an RC car, anyway. Oh, it's a 5. Good night. Yeah, that's a 5 millimeter. Yeah, I have a feeling these are just like really tight. really tight. I don't know what's binding in the steering, but something is. Check the other one. I smell nitro. We leaked some nitro. I can smell it. Hey, there's a clip. I don't know what that goes to, but we're sticking her on there. Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense why these servos are making noise. Because I guess they're having resistance and they can't like recenter. They get that weird jittery noise. Let's check all these I think they're called pillow balls. Check all these pillow balls. I'm going to loosen all of them. And then we're going to go back and check. Oh yeah, it must have been one on that side. Very tight. Okay. So we're freed up. We're going to very slowly tighten these. So we have like no play in the bottom, tiny little bit of play in the top. Still a bit of play. Went a little bit of play. I feel like this would be an easy thing to mess up. I could imagine somebody, because I think the guy that had these Revos was like kind of new to RC. And I could imagine being like well-intentioned, going through, trying to like snug everything up, make sure everything's like good to go, not going to fall apart. And you tighten these pillow balls and you're just kind of making your steering terrible without realizing it. Okay, that's too tight. Too tight. Perfect. That is not perfect. That's a little too tight. Get in there. Okay. All right, that is much better. I have to check that other Revo now, because the other Revo had like a really jittery servo, and I didn't think about it at the time that it might have been that. All right, let's put the servo horn thing back on and check this guy again. Man, I'm glad I investigated that. I would have taken this out and thought this servo sucked too and got a bigger servo. Just been like, man, this freaking servo's slow. But here it's got a couple kilograms of resistance in it. All right. Tighten this guy up and check this out again. And then we'll put those little guys back in. All right. Ooh! I keep forgetting that the underneath of this Revo is hitting everything on my little stand. Much better. Though my steering throw needs adjusted. It's not actually turning that far. Good enough. We'll mess the radio some other time. I'm not really concerned about that. It just has these little plugs. Kind of interesting. Because the pillow balls, obviously you adjust them in here. And then these little guys just kind of squeeze into that larger hex. Well, in theory they squeeze in. I found that in practice they're kind of annoying. And you've really got to like mush them in there. There we go. Get this other guy in there. Perfect. Yeah, that makes me want to... I think we might do that really quick. Before we pull the Savage out, I'm going to pull this other Revo up here. We might get a free massive improvement to our steering performance on this other Revo by just making sure that things are correct. A little bit of it. This is the first. These Revos are the first cars I've had that had a pillow ball front knuckles. So they're still kind of new to me. It wasn't on my radar of things to check. All right. All right, that should be it. That should be good to go. Perfect. All right, so I think we're actually just done with this. Oh no. I got 2 more screws to put in here. Over here, I don't have this cover back on, which is also the other 2 screws in the servo, because that covers the servo horn and stuff up, since it otherwise would be exposed on the bottom side of the car. Getting started. There we go. Started. You can see on my glove that we're definitely leaking some nitro over here, but not the end of the world. Because the last time this car was ran was the 3rd break-in tank, so I actually ran it empty. There's only a little bit of fuel in the tank still. All right, that one is good. This one is refusing to start, which means our little guy on top here might be, yep, kind of moved out of position. That stupid plastic thing we discussed. To loosen the other side. Loosen that, slide this guy in place. Slide this guy in place, I said. Can't see in there, all right. And then, yeah, I'll have to either find files, I assume files already exist, and 3D print little covers for the hole in the chassis that we're leaving by taking the other servo out. And 3D print little covers for that. Probably just out of black. I don't have any blue filament. I really don't want to buy a roll. Just to make that. Why in the hell won't this one start? What are you doing to me, guy? That's supposed to be the easy part. It looks lined up. I can look right down the hole from the top. I don't know what problem this screw's got. Let's get a smaller hex driver and try to line this guy up. There we go. Oh, you little prick. There we go. Oh, thank God. Okay, finally. I was going to say, this is supposed to be easy. Should not be difficult to screw a servo screw in. All right, and then tighten the other side. Wipe this fuel off that I had on my fingers. And we will consider this a victory. All right, excellent. And you can see underneath, we have got single servo and an empty hole. Like I said, we'll 3D print a little thing or find a file to print a little thing and cover that up. So it looks a little prettier. Look a little less weird. I'm going to grab a rag. Get all this nitro off that we spilled a little bit. And then I believe we're ready to pull the pull this other Revo out real quick. And see if we identified a problem that they both shared. This one is so clean. I didn't clean this one at all yet. This one just is in this condition. Just in like really, really good condition. Nice and clean. Has basically no damage anywhere. A little bit of like wear on the arms and stuff that you expect from running around, but whoever had this, I think, is like a kindred spirit with me. I don't really run many of my cars too rough. Well, actually, let's do one other thing. Talking about this guy being pretty. There's one thing on this car that isn't pretty, and it's the bumper. But I believe that I have a pair of Revo bumpers that now that I am keeping this guy, look at that, brand new Revo bumpers. Oh, I lie. Oh, this is the back one. I was gonna say it's freaking flat. Yeah, brand new front bumper. We're gonna stick that on here since we're claiming ownership of this one. And I think these are actually super easy to put on. I think it's just 2 screws here in the top. Bumper slides out. Bob's your uncle, as they say. Because it's one of those things, the body's in good shape, so the bumper, these things take abuse. Anytime you bump up against stuff, even if it's just while it's like in your car and you're transporting it, they take a lot of the abuse. Look at that. Look at that. Brand new. Perfect shape. Man, it just makes the whole thing look like it's never been run. Because now, really, the only wear on this car is a little bit on the fin here. Because inevitably, RCs get flipped over, they end up skidding. A little bit of wear on there, and then a little bit of scratching on the rear arms. Basically, every rock you ever kick up, it's going to hit the rear arms. Look at that. Lovely. And then, spin it this way to not get our cable mixed up. Also have one for the rear. Rear, because the rear is in about the same shape. We'll switch this over. Can't really see that one. Rear is the same shape as the front, basically. A little bit bigger hex. Switch this one out. Same deal, 2 screws. it 2 screws? Am I doing the dumb? These are for this, right? Because on this one is different. I wonder if this changed. So this one in my hand, this is different. This one in my hand has the sort of shock absorbing plastic ring on it, and that is not on this car. The car, if you can look down, just has the, it's a little difficult to see, just has this wing mount. That's kind of weird. And the bumper's different. I wonder why that is. This isn't for the Jado. The Jado doesn't have these. These I purchased, they were for the Revo. I'm not sure why they're different. It shouldn't make any difference. We'll just take these off and mount them up. That is very curious. Because they're not, I bought bumpers for the T-Max, but I have the bumpers for the T-Max. Because they're not chrome. I actually have these in the bag here. They're not chrome. They're like this satiny plastic kind of color. And they're completely different shapes. So I don't know if there's like different models of the Jado. Or Revo. Maybe these are for the e-Revo? Are they different, perhaps? Guess we'll never know. Well, what's going on here anyway? You can see the bumpers aren't even the same. This is the old one, and this is the new one. And I guess if we want the TRX to be the right way around, we go that way. Slightly prettier, and we even have new screws to put it in. Since it was mounted to that little thing. So we will use our new screws. Make it look even prettier. All right, mount it up. Oh, it won't fit. We don't have clearance. Everybody's gonna have to pretend that this is not the case. We're gonna have to put the TRX upside down for the bumper to fit. Don't anybody tell anyone. They'll make fun of me when I take it to the park. Oh, this doesn't fit at all. What the hell is going on here? Let me check this order. I'm like almost positive that we got the right ones. I don't remember where I got them from. We'll check eBay and Jenny's RC. It must be Jenny's RC. Purchase history. What the hell did I get, guys? Jenny's RC. Web order confirmed. Nitro Revo 3.3 bumpers. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused because these do not fit. And I do not see where to put this mount. It looks like you can have this in place of the wing mount, but I'm not replacing the wing mount. And I don't want to modify this. Yeah, I don't want to chop this guy up. It's so pretty. And it won't fit upside down either. Though it looks like, I wonder if this Revo is modified. Is this not like this? Because I noticed too that this one, let me pull the camera up here. This one is modified. You can see on this one it has these black spots where somebody chopped this off. So this is the same bumper, right? these are the same bumpers. Somebody just already chopped off this top part. I did not notice that. That means these wings are not stock? Are these wings, does a Revo not have a wing? I'm getting weirded out. I did not know that. Let's look up a Revo 3.3. Oh my God, look at this. A Revo 3.3 does not have a wing, but an e-Revo does? Well, that's the 1/16th. That's the 1/16th. What the hell is this wing from? I don't know. I think they look sick with the wings. Where's this body at? I never knew. I didn't know. These even have the bodies cut on the back, which is not factory. This is not factory. Holy shit. I did not realize that that wing is not factory. Interesting. Ah, that makes sense now. It actually looks kind of weird. So what is the... We should do a vote here. Are we leaving the wing on? Ah, let's take the wing off because I want this new bumper on here and I don't want to chop it up. But then our body is cut. Does that matter? Do we care about that? This is freaking weird. I wonder if this is like a J Concepts thing, or where they got the idea to modify this. It looks like I can't actually get to these mounts without taking the pipe and stuff off, which I really don't want to do. Oh, I'm torn, guys. I guess we can move the pipe out of the way. This is not how I expected this to go. This is weird. Let's see if we can move the pipe out of the way. Oh, I can't. I gotta either cut these. I either gotta cut the zip ties or take the header off, and I don't want to take the header off. Let's cut the zip ties. Let's do it this way. So yeah, our conundrum is there are screws on the backside here that I can't get to take the wing off. So I have to move the pipe. And I can only do that if I cut these zip ties, which is, I guess, what we're going to have to do. Hey, what's up, John? I'm getting my mind blown right now. I didn't realize the wing that is on both of the Revos that I have is not stock. So we're going to remove them so I can put my nice shiny bumper on that's new. All right, so we can move this pipe out of the way, which should be enough to let me get in here to these screws. Is that enough? I think that's enough. We'll make it work. I think they're a 2mm, not a 2.5. I have mixed feelings. I think the wing looks cooler with the body off, and then when I put the body on, the wing looks kind of funny. Yeah, I did not know that a Revo did not have a wing. I assumed they were factory until literally right now, because our bumper won't fit. To use this little guy. Because my big guy won't fit. I need to get some ball end hex wrenches. Would make this a lot easier. We'd come in at an angle. But we're getting them out. And then we'll take this wing off. This is just a servo swap. Your dad was like this? Wrecked your Jado during break-in? What, your dad was like me? Was your dad also weirded out that the wing on his Revo was not stock? It's quite the coincidence, because that's what I'm currently doing. The funny thing is, I don't know what these wings are off of, because they fit. They fit like relatively well, actually. I'm kind of curious what vehicle they're from. All right, so we'll take this off. We should be able to get this bumper on now, which was all we were trying to do. All right, pop this out, pop that off. Yeah, I don't know what the hell this is from. I don't know if it's like a third-party thing. It's like a modification to a Revo. Because it's actually not branded. You know how Traxxas has like TRX on everything? And it has stickers, but if you can see, there's a black sticker on the side, but then there's another Traxxas sticker, which might have just been from the Revo kits. Oh, your day was like that. Your day. I thought I read dad. Your dad was like that. My apologies. All right, so let's get this bumper back on here. On this little bracket. All right, and then well, I have to put the pipe back on. Then we'll be done with this car. That was the first bolt. Here's the second. They have stickers from Traxxas that you have to cut out yourself. For the wing or for the Revo? I know the Revo comes with like a sticker sheet with like a bunch of stuff that you can put on the body when you buy them new. Because that's where the numbers on this wing, they're from that Revo sticker sheet. All right, so the bumper on the bracket is in place where it should be. Put these long bolts back in there, and then we will be done. Well, I have to put the pipe back on. Then we will be done. Nothing like having to disassemble a wing when we're just trying to switch servos. All right, I got a ton of greasy fingerprints all over this thing now, so I have to wipe that off. All right, bumper is in place. Excellent. I don't have to reassemble anything there, so we will just put our pipe back in place. And get a bunch of oil all over our hands, which is lovely. Clean that off before I touch a bunch of other stuff. And clean it off on here. Like, I know it's kind of like the impossible mission to keep oil off of your nitro, but I want to keep this guy clean. All right, so pipe is mounted. I do have zip ties. We'll go ahead and put new zip ties on, so don't forget to do it later. It feels like it's positioned properly. Zip ties, well, I did know where they were, and then I moved everything. So maybe we'll do zip ties later, because I don't... Oh, there they are. Never mind. We found them. Because I'd like to actually get stuff done so I don't forget. It would kind of suck to go out and run this and forget. The engine would be running like shit and I wouldn't know why. So zip tie on, snug but not ridiculously tight. Zip tie on. Snug, not tight. One more click. Looks fine, we'll trim the ends. And then I think we have reassembled our Revo. And again, try to wipe her off. Wipe this bumper off. But there, now I can just never run this car into anything, and I'll keep the bumpers nice. If you weren't here for it, John, while I was working on this, I had a pair of brand new bumpers for the front and rear that I had bought because they were only like, I don't know, like $7. Ooh, look at that. We had a bunch of oil run out of the exhaust. Let's clean that up. It's easy to forget just how much oil lays in these exhaust systems in nitros. Kind of wish it wouldn't have landed there. It's like the hardest spot on this shop mat to clean up around the freaking letters. But not the end of the world. Joy of nitros, oil everywhere. That's why, if you haven't done it, I usually get in the habit, when you're done running a car, if they have these little, they're called stingers, these little things on the end of your exhaust, it's worth just taking a rag and kind of like getting the end of it, because inevitably there will be oil right on the end of there that's either dripping or about to drip. And just get ahead of it a little bit. Sometimes oil in the wrong place can be a bit of a pain. All right, well there's that. I think that is good. That is the Revo assembled. Single servo. These come with a pair of servos. We took one out and put a stronger servo in this side. And that is all in there now. Good to go. We're going to turn this off, unplug this receiver battery charger, and then I'll share with you what the problem was on this one that we found by checking it on this other Revo. Process of elimination, that means this radio goes to the other Revo. And this guy, unfortunately, still has the tires on, so it's takes up a bit more space. On that one that we were just looking at, there was a bunch of binding in the steering because the pillow balls were too tight. This one seems better, but we're going to check it by undoing this servo horn and seeing how freely the steering moves with the servo unhooked, which will only take a second. But I'm curious. Hopefully it's fine. If it's not fine, we'll have to take the tires off and adjust the pillow balls in the front. All right. That's not terrible. That's not terrible, but that is not great either. Let me take the tires off of this guy, and we will go ahead and check them really quick. While we have Revos out, let's go ahead and tend to this. I need to find my wheel wrench. The Revos have a, whoops. Revos have a special little wrench because it has a freaking proprietary Traxxas nut. That is slightly annoying. I thought there was like a cool one. Yeah, here's one. The guy I got these from had a neat little aftermarket aluminum one here. That's a little bit better. They're cheap, but it's not just a regular. Oh God, these are tight. I didn't put these on. Ow. Ooh, smash my tip. That doesn't feel good. Question, when your batteries run low, does it cause your RC to turn slower? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, it'll just, it scales pretty linearly. Like as you have lower voltage in your receiver pack, they'll be a little bit slower and have less power. Yep, that one is very straightforward. That's why if you ever look at servo stats, they have different stats for different voltages, and it is literally just like the more power you have going to your servo, the faster they'll be and the more power they'll have. Yeah, that one is very straightforward. All right, we'll go ahead and take this other tire off. Wider turns, yeah, yep, definitely. Yeah, your servo will just have less power and won't perform as well. That's why it's a good idea. It's something that's easy to forget with nitros, but it's a good idea to charge your receiver packs fairly often just to make sure. Because if you don't, the other big reason to do it is if you don't have fail-safes set up with your radio, if your receiver pack dies, you can also have runaways, potentially. Because it's basically the same as losing signal. Yeah, these are a little stiff. I know you can't really see this, but like the servo is not hooked up, so I am just moving the steering system by itself, and it's a little stiff, which means these pillow balls are too tight. And we're just going to ever so slightly loosen them up. And that should make a very big difference in how much drag there is in the steering. And we did it with the other car. We'll loosen all of them up and then go through and tighten them all again to make sure that there's not too much play, but also there's no binding. Amateur mistake today, low receiver pack. It happens. Most people forget because you're just used to like putting fuel in. Like people just forget that your car does still have a battery in it. And it's very important. All right, so this one is too loose. That one is too loose. This one is still snug. We're gonna put all of them to like just slightly too loose. And make sure there's no binding anywhere else. That's not terrible. I feel like there's a tiny bit of friction in the servo saver in the middle here in the chassis, but I don't think it's enough to worry about. There's also a little bit of drag. It's the one thing I don't like about these Traxxas systems. There's a little bit of drag in the system just because there are these boots, because they have to stretch when the steering articulates. Wish I knew why this servo was jittery. Can you hear it? Just like jitters. I don't know if it's like a cheap servo. I know it's a cheap servo, but I don't know if it's a problem. All right, so that one snugged it up a little bit and it's too tight, so we're gonna leave it a little loose. All right. A little tedious, but worth doing. Probably be worth taking these off. This is the one I'm selling, so I'm not like super worried. If it's pretty good, I'm happy with that. All right, that feels good. All right, we'll quit messing with it. We got to put these plugs back in. That keeps dirt out of these little hexes. They just kind of mush into the outer hex. So they're not caked full of mud the next time you go to adjust them. Do the other side. Oh, these are like kind of annoying to put in. If my son forgets it's there. He might forget. I finally got him a little car that we had ordered. He was saving up allowance money, and we ordered it. It's from Banggood. It's the one you see a bunch of videos about on YouTube. He has it up in his room, or I'd show it to you. It is great. It is kind of insane. It was like $120 for a 16th scale car that's four-wheel drive, a bunch of aluminum stuff on it, has a complete metal drive train, so metal front and rear diffs. I don't know if it has a center diff. It might have a center diff too. Two little 2S lipos. Just built really well. And for $100 to come with 2 batteries and everything you need, it's very much like a mini, like a mini X-Max. Even has like almost an identical clipless body system to the X-Max. It's like a, I want to say habao, but that's not it. I just have habao in the brain. I forget what they're called. Let me find it here. Because they are pretty amazing, really. Banggood. I mean, the only problem with Banggood is, because it's basically the same as AliExpress. It spams the shit out of your email as soon as you sign up. The MJX HyperGo. It's this guy. I'll show you real quick. It's this guy. The MJX HyperGo 16208. They're freaking great. Freaking great. It's got adjustable aluminum shocks. Nice little design. Like I said, complete metal drivetrain. And the body has like a clipless system like the X-Max. So it like hooks in the front, and then you got the almost the same exact mechanism as an X-Max in the back. Yeah, great little car. So that is probably going to take his mind off a bunch of things for the next little while. They take forever to deliver. So that one was like, when did I order that? It wasn't bad, honestly. It was ordered on the 30th. And it got here 2 days ago. So it took like 11 days. I think it was like 11 days. Which is, to me, not bad. That is not too bad. All right, let's get the servo hooked back up. I don't like how jittery it sounds, but it works fine. I guess the one thing is, this is a Nitro Revo, so you'll never hear it. You will never hear your servo jittering when this guy is running. Because Nitros are not quiet. Oh, I can't get this lined up. Get in there. It's got to go in perfect. It's got to go in perfect, or it wants to cock. As soon as you push one, oh, there it went. Funny. As soon as I put the camera on it, she decided to go. All right, screw in there. And then we are golden. All right, good to go. I assume that'll be a little bit freer. There wasn't much resistance in this one, but oh, look at that! And then it also stops making noise. All right, so that one's good. We'll leave that be. This one does need the air filter put back on it, but we'll do that another time. Okay. What time is it? It's 12 o'clock already. That took longer than I expected. And I am freaking tired. It seems a lot of scammers are at AliExpress. I've never had any issues. Like, I know people say that, but I've never had any issues with AliExpress or Banggood. I think they're pretty good for banning, like just getting rid of people that are a problem. Because I've never had any issues. I am not going to keep these bumpers. They're pretty rough and I don't really have a use for them. Some things I would keep. They are not one of them. So I'm not staying up late tonight because I am freaking tired. So, while I wanted to put a radio in this Savage, I don't know that that's going to happen. I think instead what we might do is get the Savage out and just take a look inside of it. Just take a look inside of it. So here's the 4.6. I don't need my car stand. Excuse me. Here's the 4.6, and I wanted to look inside of it because I've never actually seen in the radio box and stuff in here. I've never actually seen inside of it. I don't know how to get into it. Looks like it might be this easy. Oh, it's that easy. Yeah, I've never actually seen in here. I don't know what receiver battery this has. Like, I don't know anything about the interior of this. Oh, it looks like that same retainer also holds this little radio tray in. Because we've got multiple servos in here. We've got the obvious one, make a little pointer. Put my hexes away. We don't need all this crap. It looks like we have 3 servos. It's convenient having all these hexes on this little thing, but this thing is also a pain in the ass sometimes to get them back in. All right. Obvious servos. Obviously, we have one right here, which is the main throttle and brake servo. And then we have, oh, there's not a servo in there. Okay, so we only have 2 servos. Excellent. Excuse me. Throttle and brake and steering, I guess, is all we have, because this doesn't have reverse, and the 2-speed transmission is automatic. This is an old Savage. This is an older. The easiest way to tell. Older Savages have 2 shocks on each arm, and the new ones, the newest generation, the GT6s, the X and the XL, only have 1 shock on each corner. So it doesn't tell you exactly which generation it is, but if it has 2 shocks, it's not the current gen, so it's at least, what, 3 or 4 years old. All right, so I wanted to put a new radio in this, because I have this HPI TF41 from like the newer generation 4.6, because this radio is old as hell. It's this the one we got out the other night, this older like Futaba looking one, which it actually feels nice, but the thing is the performance is terrible. Like the range on these is very bad, and you have to have like the comical antennas extended. But I just wanted to get a look in here because it looks like we have a hump pack. We have a hump pack that I don't know if it's in good condition or not. I guess we can hook it up to the charger because I think this thing is getting low. Hook it up to our charger. It's charging. We got a receiver on like a little plate here. I don't have any double stick tape, but it looks like the radio itself should be an easy swap. Looks like 8 years old. Yeah, Nitros, when you cover things in oil and a little bit of dirt, it makes it look old, and Nitros do that to themselves very quickly with a very minimal effort. All right, so we're going to start by taking zip tie off of that, and I guess we can just cut this off. I don't know if I'll be able to peel it off. I ordered some servo tape which is just like really, really strong double-sided tape, but I don't have it yet. But I'm not going to be driving this anytime soon, I don't think. So we don't actually need to have this mounted in here permanently. Where is my knife? I know we had it yesterday. I don't know what came of it. Oh, there it is. We should be able to cut this off of here. Just separate this. We'll try to get as much tape off the part as we can, because I guess I'll keep this radio and receiver. It's kind of neat to have this vintage stuff. Any cleaning tips? Yeah, so again, nitros are kind of new to me as well. The Jado, I wish I could show you pictures, the before and after. I might be able to. This will be sort of only relevant to you. But I took pictures of the Jado when I first got it. I think. Oh, I think I took them on my camera. Oh, nope. I don't know if you can see this. That's what the Jado looked like. It was horrendous. Like it was really bad. I think I even recorded a video. Yeah, this is the shape the Jado was in when I first got it. Like it looked like it had been sitting in a barn for 20 years. It was just covered in dirt. You could tell that like there's probably mice in and around it. But what I did to this was dismounted the engine, which obviously is not what you're looking to do. You don't want to take the engine out, I would imagine. Yeah, it was crazy dirty. It was in okay shape, it was just dirty. But to do that, I took the engine out because I didn't want to worry about getting water in the engine. Everything else I didn't care about. Like I didn't care about ruining the electronics because they were all getting replaced. But if you look up some videos about cleaning nitros, what guys generally do, spray it down with like degreaser, which like I have some here in like a reusable bottle. Water down some degreaser, spray it down, use like an old paintbrush to just knock everything loose, and then hose it down, and then blow it dry. That's the big thing, is blowing it dry. Because I would gather from the little bit I heard you talk before that budget's not a huge issue. One thing I'd look at if you don't have like a compressor, I don't have a big compressor here, is this thing is great. It's a Wolf box, a little portable blower. I watched a couple review videos of a bunch of different of like handheld blowers. This thing is insanely powerful. I almost don't even want to turn it on because my family's sleeping. But here is a rag, and this is on the highest setting. Like it is absolutely insane. Like it obnoxiously loud too, so sorry about that, but they work great as a little handheld thing to blow water off after you've hosed it off. And then a good thing to do is take like WD-40. This and the Jado, degrease, hose down, and then I actually sprayed the whole thing with WD-40 and then blew it off again and then wiped as much of the WD-40 off as I can. WD-40 is not a lubricant. It is a water displacement thing to keep things from rusting. But yeah, if you have the engine off, you can leave the engine on, but you want to take your air filter off and cover up the carburetor to not get water in, and cover the tip of your exhaust. If you do that, you don't really have to worry too much about water. Like obviously don't get it in your servos and stuff if they're not waterproof, but you don't have to drench it when you rinse everything off. All right, so there is that off. There's the receiver off. When I retape this, I'll clean the last little bit of that off, but receiver off. We have our on and off switch here. Which you can see the battery goes into the, separated here. Battery into the switch and then into the receiver is how they work. Gives us an on and off, which we need for nitros. And then we have throttle and steering servo. And we're out. And this new radio, it's actually really simple. It's funny the channels aren't marked on this. Oh yeah, they are. Channel 1, channel 2. And bind. Let's throw some batteries in this. I've never worked with this radio before, so this will be new to me. So I believe go boom. Throttle, I believe will be channel 2. We'll check it out. Turn this guy on. Yeah, it's that freaking easy. Isn't that amazing? It's that freaking easy. So we're hooked up. It's already bound to the receiver. You can see the steering servo in this is atrocious. And throttle. I think everything, this is actually just done. So I think what we might do is actually just go ahead and replace this servo. Though I don't know how we get to the steering one. I think the engine is out of this. I'm going to set the engine aside because I'm going to turn this upside down. Engine not currently installed. Set it up here in the JATO chassis. To get to the steering servo, it is right up here. It's crazy how many Phillips head screws are in these older cars. I'm gonna take the servo horn off and pray that this is a 24-tooth servo, which it almost certainly is not for an older car like this. And then take all these freaking Phillips screws out to get this servo out. Sorry, I'm blocking everything. But yeah, this is a... How do you put crank starts on them? And to install lights, you hook them to the servos in another place, I think. Generally, so it varies sometimes, but for most things, it's just a matter of plugging them into an empty channel in your servo, because they're basically just getting power. They're not getting any signal. Boss level genius. I don't know about all that. I was in Mensa when I was younger. But that has nothing to do with being fearless to take shit apart. flip this over to get these screws to fall out. All right, servo is free. I can't get a hold of this to get it out. I'm kind of curious what the stats are for these servos. Make sure our cables are free. Oh, we're still hooked to the receiver like an idiot. See? Who's smart now? Servo's still hooked up. I'm wondering why it won't come out. Like, it makes sense that this is upside down in here, but it is also a little frustrating to get out. All right, so we are out. Servo removed. Now the question is, for one, which one do we put in? We have this Fetech 35 gram or kilogram servo. I believe it's this direction. That's weird. So if I turn this fast, it like quits working. I wonder if it's because our receiver battery is low. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if this one does it. We might have a bad battery for the receiver. Like, that is definitely possible. Though, this one does it too. I'm confused. Let me grab, I believe I have a multimeter here. Let me grab a multimeter and see what kind of voltage we're running on this receiver pack. I'm curious, we might have a bad hump pack. All right, let's go. Let's take a look here. It's got a multimeter. We're going to go to DC voltage. Grab this pack. And see if we can get an idea of what our voltages are here. We're not going to go in the plug, but on the plug we have these contacts on the outside that we can kind of just touch into. So we're at 6.4 volts, which I think is like right where we're supposed to be. Yeah, that is right where we're supposed to be. That doesn't tell us anything about capacity or anything, but yeah, that's what we should be at. Maybe it's because we had the charger hooked up at the same time. Maybe that's not ideal. I'm going to plug this back in. We are turned back on. Yeah, no, that's weird. Why she's doing that. Why is it doing that? I wish. See, this is where I need a smart person in here. Not that you're not smart, but somebody that knows more about this than me. So we have a light on the receiver, right? And if I do the steering very fast, The receiver cuts out. Why is it doing that? That's weird. That doesn't seem like normal behavior. See if this one does it. That one doesn't do it. Why is it? Why does that do that? Let's try this Traxxas servo. Maybe we were putting the Traxxas servos in here. I don't know if it's like drawing too much current through the receiver. That one's not doing it. I wonder why this one does. That's super weird. There, it did it. It blacked out again. Huh. Wow, I wonder what that is. What is that? I wonder if it's because this cable, the cable for the switch is smashed a little bit right there. Let's try plugging power directly into the receiver instead of through the switch. Positive and negative. All right, so now we got nothing. Why is that? Oh, there we go. I think I plugged it in wrong. That's weird, it's not doing it now. If you can see that. I wonder if that wire being crushed a little bit is causing it to low voltage. Nope, there it did it again. I'm confused by that. I'll have to do some reading as to why that might happen. Well, that's real strange. I don't know what to do now. I don't know which one of these to put in. Let's try a different radio and receiver. Let's try one of these Kyosho Synchro radios, because I have the receiver and everything laying right here. That is a very curious thing. I think we only need, oh, we do need 4 batteries. Very curious. So batteries in the transmitter. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon, it's getting late. The red and white, yeah. Not all these are connected. But everything that we're currently checking is connected. All right, so here is this receiver. We're powered on. And we're going to do the same setup. So we have this Kyosho receiver. We are going to plug in power. So we have power. And we're going to plug in this 40 kilogram servo into channel 1. It should go this direction. And we are turning it like a crazy person. And the servo is, I know you can't see it because it doesn't have anything on it, but the servo is moving. We'll put a horn on it here. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Is there something wrong? The wire on the truck? No, no, no. This is the, this is to the throttle servo. So what we're currently testing right now is we have, walk you through this. We have a transmitter. We have a receiver that currently has only a battery and a servo hooked to it. And the servo works, you can see it moving. Servo works completely fine. The thing we were seeing with this other one, let's transfer, because maybe we'll put this Syncro radio. I don't think that HPI radio is supposed to do that. All right, we will demonstrate. So batteries into the HPI radio. I don't like this HPI radio. I don't even like how the batteries fit into it. That's getting nitpicky. The batteries feel funny the way they fit in. HPI radio, turned on. Let me get some of this stuff out of my way. Radio, turned on. HPI receiver. We're going to do the exact same thing we did with the other one. We have a battery. The little red light, receiver is powered on, and we have a servo into channel 1. But now, I don't know if you can see the little red light in my hand. We're turning back and forth, and it blacked out. It blacked out right there and stopped working. Blacked out. Blacked out, blacked out, blacked out. That's weird, because whenever the light's blacked out, it is not turning. That's not normal. There shouldn't be periods where you just can't steer your car. Imagine if this was the throttle servo, and it's like if I hit the throttle too fast, it'll turn off for a second. That's not good. Yeah, that is not normal behavior. And I'll just to send the point home, let's hook up this old ass AM radio receiver. I believe they go this way. And do the same test. And I would assume yeah, same test. This 10-year-old receiver isn't doing it. So it's not the servo, it's not the battery pack, it's not the transmitter. It must be this receiver. That's real weird. That is real weird. Well, I'm glad we checked that out before we installed everything. Let's try it one more time. Make sure it's doing it. Where did I put it? Yeah, I'll have to look up. I'll have to look up what's going on with that. That's not normal. It's like it's I don't know. It's having some kind of problem. We'll try her again. Try her one more time. If it does it again, I'm not putting this in this car until we figure out why it's doing it. So you can see the light turn, 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 turn. Blacked out, turned off. Turned off. Turned off. Yeah, that's not normal. Let's see if it does it in the other channel. We'll move it to the throttle channel. Yeah, same thing. Like I'm just hitting the throttle. I'm fighting my hands here. There you can see the light and the throttle. It's hard to coordinate. Turned off. Turned off. Turned off again. Yeah, that's weird. It's not supposed to do that. Not good. Not good. And even just sitting here, it's like flickering. Because I would assume with normal use, like if I just do this calmly, it seems fine. Oh, it doesn't. I'm not even doing it that fast. Yeah, that's, I think that's defective. That is defective. That's disappointing. I was excited. I was super excited to have an official HPI, because this is the same model that if you would have bought the newer version of this truck, not the newest one, but the one from like a generation ago, it would have came with this radio. So I'll have to do some searching to see if it's like I don't know what I'm expecting to find. This shouldn't happen. This is a shitty, much lower voltage receiver from many, many years ago that works fine. So that is disappointing, because that kind of brings us to a halt. Because I don't want to put one of these synchro radios in here, because I wanted to have an HPI one. I guess I can contact Jenny's RC where I got that from. Because I only have one of the HPIs. I have multiple of these Kyoshos. I guess I could put the Kyosho in temporarily. We can go ahead and put the servo in. So we're going to put the 40 kilogram servo on the steering and the 35 on the throttle. And we won't do the forbidden thing of putting Traxxas servos in this car. That feels dirty for some reason. But we will go ahead and put this. We'll go ahead and mount the steering servo, get that over with, and actually do something productive tonight. So flip this guy over. You might be able to see some of this. So we're going in this hole here. The wire goes this direction, so we'll feed the wire through. We'll try to get the servo mounted and get the horn back on. Well, we actually do got to check that. Where is that weird servo horn? I have a feeling we're going to have to put a different horn on this, because that one looked like it was old and weird. And I don't know what I did with it. What did I do with that? It's got to be laying here. It's got to be here somewhere. Maybe? Maybe not. There's the 4 screws. Oh, it's still attached. I'm an idiot. It's still attached in the truck. There it is. You can see it laying down in the bottom there. We've got to take that off and make sure it fits before we mount the servo in there. Because it'll be easier to figure out a solution up here outside of the truck than it will be down there. I have a sneaking suspicion this is like a 23 tooth or something weird. Oh, it's 25. Okay, we're good. The only thing we'll have to change, this will mount on the servo. It'll be a little tight. Nope, it goes on there good. We'll mount on there. We're going to have to use a different bolt, I think, because this had a like a self-tapping screw in it, and we are not going to use that to mount to the servo because it won't go in. This has like a nice modern machine thread on it. Let me grab the little pack of horns that came with, because it should have a screw to mount that. I'll grab all of them. It should be one of these. One of these bags should have a screw in it. Unless I'm wrong, it looks like these are all like self-tapping screws also. Maybe I'm wrong, let's try it. Where'd it go? Here it is. Maybe this will thread into there. That's weird. Oh, that is definitely not it. Interesting. I don't know what thread this has. It's not that either. I don't know what freaking thread it has. I don't know if I have a bolt for that. Because we have all this JADO hardware laying here still. I don't think any of those are correct. Oh, I see one, I see one. I see one in here. It's a silver guy at the bottom. There it is. These cheap servos come with like a bunch of like universal servo horns and stuff, which are not very good, usually. There we go. Put that little silver one in there. All right, well, unfortunately, we're not going to mount that right now because we'll have to get this in. We'll get this in, get it centered up, and then connect all that stuff once it's down in here in the car. We just got to get the servo cable to go in the little hole before we can move to the next step. It's so close, yet so far. Is it in? Okay, we're in. All right. So now that we're in the hole, we can actually fit the servo down in there with the cable out of the way. It's such a weird angle. It's why it was hard to get the other one out. Because it actually doesn't have much extra space in there. And the wire comes out the end of the servo. It's like it needs to be in that little recess. Let me see if the old servo was that way. Yeah, like the wire comes out, so it's like there's not space in the compartment for this little wire coming out. So it's got to be like in the hole, but you can't get it in the hole until it's down, like in position, but you can't get it in position because you can't get it down in the hole. It's like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. Well, that is frustrating. Because I don't want to damage this freaking wire by smashing the shit out of it like we currently are. And I don't know how to get it in otherwise. You guys are not helpful. I need one of you to hold this. So you pull on the cable, I'll push. And together, we can fail as one. It's catching on this little lip. I know I'm going to tear the cable. I know I'm going to freaking tear the cable in this servo. What a terrible design. I hate it. Because look, we're kinking the shit out of this wire. because there's a little ledge. You can see down here, there is a little ledge right here that we have to get past for the wire to get to the hole, but we can't get past the ledge because the servo is not angled properly. I do not like this design. And I don't know, short of like really pulling on this cable to bend it past that, I don't know how to get this guy down in there. Because when you're talking about small electronics, quote unquote, really pulling on the cable doesn't seem like what you should be doing. Oh, that feels terrible. That feels terrible. Like I just feel like I'm breaking something. I can't get it past there. Just jam it, right? What's the worst that can happen? We rip the wire off this $20 servo. It is not going. Wow. This is what's frustrating when something is designed poorly, is that you take things that should be really straightforward and it's difficult. I am getting irritated. And there's no way, this is a single piece. Like that little tray in there is a single piece. There's no way to disassemble it more to make this easier. Shit. Is this exciting? This is exciting YouTube content. Old man angry at a plastic box. Oh, I'm just so afraid I'm going to pull that wire out. Oh, we got it. Oh, we got it. Okay. Good Lord. It's in there. It is in there. Hopefully it went in because, you know, how skilled I am and not because I pulled the wire out and it's ruined. And now the frustration continues because of the angle of this being that those are back under this ledge that I don't think I can easily remove. I can't just put the screws in. It would help if I had a magnetic driver, which that is kind of my fault. Who doesn't have magnetic screwdrivers? That is some Bush League bullshit. Sweet Jesus. Should not be this hard to change a servo. I'm curious now that, because I have this and I also have the XL 5.9, like the newest model of the Savage. I'm kind of curious what that one is like compared to this one, as far as these little annoyances. Those two weren't bad. These two, readily accessible, not a problem. Don't like that they're Phillips and they're self-tapping into plastic because the longevity of that is Not great. But compared to these other back two, it's like a walk in the park. Oh, I got that one started. I can tell this one in the back corner is just going to be a pain in my ass. As a matter of fact, we are going to hook up. we're going to get this servo horn on here and see how that goes before I worry about getting that screw in, because if I have to get it back out, I might scream. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We'll go ahead and use this Kyosho one. We will hook this up to the receiver and the receiver to a battery just to make the servo center. Before we go too far. And I actually do want to get this one running, which is a little frustrating because that means I'm going to have to do it with this Kyosho radio while we figure out a solution to the HPI receiver, which is not something I was expecting to have to do. Battery cover, there it is. It's just the little things. Like I like how the battery cover goes on this one better. Okay, so we're going to, that is connected. We're going to center the steering trim on the radio. So our trim is centered. That means our servo should be centered. And now we will put the servo horn on. Or try to. We will try to. I can't remember if the steering link was on top or under the servo horn. I assume it was on top. So go ahead and put this on as straight as we can to have the best steering geometry. It helps if I put it the right direction. I made the hole up instead of down. Oh, that looks like that's as close to a 90-degree angle as I can get it. Steering is straight. Not quite. We're one tooth off. There we go. I think that is correct. We'll press that on. We will get our little silver screw that we had somewhere. There it is. Also a Phillips, weird. All this Phillips hardware is weirding me out. Tight, but not ridiculously tight. So that's good. And then we will line our linkage up and get the screw back in that. That was also self-tapping. Self-tapping plastic screw. This, it's just striking me, this doesn't have a servo saver on it. Oh yeah, it does, yes it does, and the bell crank. Never mind, I'll shut up. Don't listen to me. All right, so our steering is connected. That is significantly better than it was. Servo saver is kind of loose. Wonder what kind of act of God it takes to adjust that. Worry about that. Worry about that another day. So we have a steering servo in. It appears to work. So we will continue our mission to get this this back screw in here. Be prepared to hear me curse. Damn it. Let me get, I think I have a little magnet over here. My little DJI thing came with a little magnet. I don't want to scratch this up, but we should be able to magnetize the screwdriver. Maybe not. Look at that. Look at that hack. Hopefully we can get it in the hole now. That's what she said. I think we're in. We are in. Thank the Lord. All right. Mission accomplished. Smooth as could be. Couldn't imagine that going better. Job got done. Nobody got irritated. Perfect outcome, right? Got a piece of plant in the driveline. All right, I think I'm considering that mission accomplished for tonight. I'm tired, and that was frustrating. Servo in, and like I said, I don't really want to mount this Kyosho receiver in here because I ultimately don't want that radio. But we did the servo. I guess we can go ahead and do this one as well. So we're gonna put this, I have this like, another like Amazon servo, pretty inexpensive, and significantly more powerful than the one that's currently in here. So we'll switch this out, pull this horn off. Because especially on Nitros, if you have a slow servo, it makes the throttle, like controlling the throttle like a little weird. So having a faster servo goes a long way to make the Nitro experience a little more pleasant. You're a great video. Dude, this is a terrible video, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the sentiment. This was a terrible video. But at the same time, hopefully some people will see this and see some of the realities of dealing with this stuff. It's not all, like you see videos, like a lot of the RC YouTubers, they're just outside, having the time of their life, driving cars around, everything's great. And this is a big part of the hobby. This right here. Getting irritated because you can't get a fudging screw in your servo because the way your car's designed. That's real life. That is just how it goes sometimes. All right, this one hopefully is easier. This seems like a lot more accessible. Though I anticipate already having a little bit of a time getting the servo wire down in there. So we gotta get this guy in. We gotta get the wire in first, which it's tough to see. There is a tiny little slot that is barely wider than the head of this that you have to get the servo wire in. Oh, we're so close to the first try. Oh, we got it. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. And then another irritation. Why in the hell? Can you see down in there? where the head of this servo thing is, there's not enough space for this to come out and make the turn without forcing it. Why the hell would you do that? Why? Why's it got to be like that? I pulled it out of the hole. No. Why would you do that? If this hole was just a little bit bigger, it'd be so much easier. Just like literally 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters bigger. Infinitely easier. It's like cars, nobody thinks of the guy that has to work on it later. Well, not even just cars, it's like a lot of things in life. That's how you can tell the best designed things. The best designed things are the ones that are easy to work on. Not that it never breaks, not that it looks pretty. It's that inevitably, when a dude has to fix a thing, and it's just a pleasure to work on, that's the hallmark of good design. Not looking sleek, not looking fancy. All right, throttle servo, same thing. I'm gonna hook it up. She is hooked up. Do the same thing. Whenever you put a servo horn on, you want to center your trim. This, what, do we have like weird, crazy interference? This servo is not working now. What is the problem? And it's making a weird noise. And if you can hear it, it's going. I think that servo's bad. That freaking servo's bad. I wonder if the wire got damaged. Man, it is just one of those nights. Yeah, I think his servo's damaged. She no worky. Oh, and that is incorrect. That is incorrectly, I should say. Yeah, it's not working. Nothing? Interesting. Let's grab the freaking Traxxas servo. This one works just fine. What a night. What an amazing night of RC maintenance. I wonder if I should have just put both of these freaking Traxxas servos in here and be done with it. They're both upgrades. Like, what the hell's wrong with this servo now? Sweet, sweet Jesus. What is going on? And here we are with a small hole again, making it difficult to get the plug of this freaking servo out the hole. Man, guys, I thought this was going to be easy. I thought this was going to be cake. Yesterday, we completely disassembled the Jado and had basically no problems. And then tonight, I'm trying to move some servos around and hook a radio up, which should be like the easiest freaking shit. And I've had more difficulty doing this than completely disassembling a car. And now I got a servo that don't work. That's brand new. Yeah, it doesn't want to do anything. And it's making like a clicking sound. If you can hear that on the mic. It almost sounds like a pocket watch. Yeah, something's wrong with that. The Traxxas one works fine. And screw it, I'm putting this Traxxas servo in here. It's a throttle servo, it's just fine. If this is good enough, this same throttle servo that we're putting on the Jado, or the Revo. So if this is good enough for the Revo throttle, this is good enough for the Savage throttle. We are going with it, I'm not thinking about it anymore. Good night, America. Why does everything gotta be hard? See, now I wish they weren't mismatched. And I wish I would have just put the other 2075 Traxxas servo into the steering and been done with it. At least we'll be done. At least this one's under a cover. Nobody will be none the wiser that we've got a Traxxas servo in this this HPI. As long as you guys promise not to tell, I won't tell anybody. All right. Hook her up. Oh, it's the wrong cable. Hook her up. Should be working throttle servo. Works perfect. Again, our trims are centered. We might have to adjust this servo horn later because I don't know, being that this is the throttle servo, we might have to adjust this later so our throttle's neutral. But for the time being, that's going to be good. Go ahead and get the screws back in this. And I believe all of these are the same, including the one for the servo horn. Which again actually is not correct because this is a modern machine thread servo. So these self-tapping screws will not actually be okay. Especially that one, because that's the one that was in the servo horn on the other guy. We've got to push that back out, actually. That is the wrong screw. Yeah, that's a tiny little guy. That's not the right one. Anyway, I guess the problem we might have now is that the screw for the servo horn for the Revo is very short. So we may have to rob a longer screw from the Revo here. Or the Jado. God, I keep getting them mixed up. Yeah, rob a slightly longer one. Put that guy in. We're gonna put these screws in, and then I'm going to bed. I need rest after this experience. We're not even done. Man, I need to drive some RCs. It's been like a week since I've driven anything. And doing all this maintenance makes me have cars on the brain. And it's been all work, no play. I'm ready for some play. All right, last one, then we'll tighten these up. And then, much like the Jado, we're gonna have to leave this unresolved because I don't actually have the radio and receiver that we want to ultimately have in here. Though this is progress. We did get the servos in because this is significantly better throttle response. And significantly better steering performance. Servo Saver is a little slow and creaky, but outside of that, should be fine. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna call that a night. That's something. Things happened. We got stuff done, I guess. Just feels unsatisfying. I was really, really hoping to get this done. I thought this was gonna be a simple little project. It did not end up being a simple little project. Though, luckily this part, whenever we do come back, this part will be easy because the receiver is the simplest part of this equation. Now that we got the servos in, we just have our little, if you remember, our little radio tray. We'll hook our power into that, mount our receiver whenever we get it, and that just sits in here. Tuck all the wires in. Be pretty straightforward. But I think that is it for tonight. I need some rest after all that noise. This guy does not feel like it's that much closer to getting fired up. I was hoping to make more progress on that. I'm going to tuck all these wires in. We'll just go ahead and leave that receiver in here. So if the time comes and we do want to start it up, we at least have a functional radio hooked to it. We're just going to jam all this in here for now. Jam all this in here, put the lid back on. Now that I have gotten a look inside there, it's the first I've ever seen inside of this, so it was a learning experience for me. Tuck the wires. Normally this wouldn't be such a mess to get back on, because our wires should be like tidier in there, just to ensure that you're not like pinching things when you lock everything back up. But for now, we're gonna consider that a success, even though I can't get the freaking I can't get the lid back on. Okay, I see. We have a wire that's crossing one of the sort of like water barriers. Since this is an off-road vehicle, they sort of compartmentalize that throttle servo over there. So we don't want any of the wires crossing that region. All right, who'd think it'd be this damn hard to jam wires into something just to get it closed temporarily? yet here we are. Good Lord, everything was hard tonight. There we go. We're closed. Oh. Let's quit while we're behind. Well, that's buttoned up. We got the pack laying here charging, though it says it's charged. I don't want to leave that down here overnight, so we're gonna unhook that. Well, for the few of you that showed up tonight, thank you for stopping by. This guy still needs a lot of work. We need to get the engine put back together, clean this out a little bit in here. This is dirty. The outside looks pretty good, but the inside, I want to clean this up so it looks nice and pretty, nice and clean. Because I think this guy's pretty good to go with a new radio and servos and stuff. I don't think it really needed anything else. I just wanted a modern radio, so we got like decent ranges and stuff with it. Because the AM radio and stuff doesn't have very good ranges. But we're gonna leave this. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this on the bench. I'll do some looking at what might be causing the issue with this receiver. This is an RF50 HPI racing receiver. I don't know why it's doing that. That cutting out is not normal. Shouldn't do that. So I have to confirm that that's a problem, and then contact Jenny's and see if they'll replace it for me. I don't think they're very expensive, but at the same time, I did pay for it, so it'd be nice if it worked. But with that, I'm gonna go get some sleep. It's getting late. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm not sure if we'll stream tomorrow. I kind of want to try like living with my camera outside and running some vehicles. Maybe the Revo that I'm keeping, actually drive that around a little bit for the first time on that new motor. But the weather here is terrible. It's been raining for like 3 or 4 days. So I have to like, I don't know, see how that goes. But for now, I'm going to bed. I'll see